Then everyone would call you a bot for real. Like...
I'm actually an easy bot.
Yeah.
This man is lagging.
You must say, this human is like...
This flesh construct is lagging.
Yes! Perfect, perfect.
I'm advancing on a strategic location. My presence is contested. I cannot stand against the might of the Omnissiah except for when I press the wrong buttons.
Shit.
Under heavy weapons fire. I am outgunned. Advancing. I did not need to advance. There is another target. Target killed. Target killed. Target killed. Target killed. I'm outnumbered. Target killed.
Are you programmed for this too?
I am programmed for extermination. All must be destroyed. Objectives achieved. For the Mechanicus.
Fair enough.
I will record this round for future analysis. Hello there, and welcome back to Space Marine. If you're wondering where you can get that amazing AdMech voice changer that you heard in the intro, the answer is that you can't. Reason being that it is in fact not a voice changer at all. It's actually a very strange bug that I've never actually come across on Discord. For some reason my voice was coming across robotic, everyone else's was normal. Even on the video that I recorded of that round it wasn't registering anything strange. It was only in the recording from other people and only what other people could actually hear. So I don't know what's up with that, but it is a damn shame because it does sound pretty funny, if you ask me. But anyway, today's video is going to be something of a throwback to the good old days where I used to just literally record rounds and then talk over them afterwards. So it's been a while since I did one of those. I've been very distracted with stuff like VOD reviews and tournament matches, but I just figured I would at least prove I have some idea of what I'm talking about in the VOD reviews with a little bit of play of my own rather than just other people's. So anyway, we're here on Manufactorum. I am obviously playing my tactical loadout, Stalker Bolter, Melter Gun, Larimer's Blessing, Stims, you know how it goes, and we're just going to pick up a very cheeky corner camp kill there. Very cheap, very easy, but sometimes that's all you need to do. We're off to a very strong start here, already triple capping. We're going to just push up a little bit here, try and finish this kill, maybe get a bit greedy there, but we're going to go down. And suddenly this game just got a whole lot more interesting. The question is no longer can we win this game in under 5 minutes, it is now a matter of how on earth are we going to try and turn this one around. So first port of call has to be the home point. If we don't recapture this, then there's no way our team is going to be able to push up. They really need some sort of pressure release valve here. So we're going to push up, take out the first guy, and start the decap. It seems we're in luck and the other team haven't pushed up this far for the moment, either that or they're just looking at the spawn, so we're going to be able to decap this one nice and quickly. The alternative option is to go all the way for back cap on the enemy's home point and try and pull some of them back. It depends on the circumstances really. If they are pushed all the way up and pressuring our home point still, that would probably be the better option, but as they were not, we're able to take the opportunity and lock down our home point at last. More targets coming in here, 2 more assaults have finally arrived, we're able to take out both of those. By the sounds of it, there are some more targets approaching from the right. We're going to try and engage this guy with Melter, but fired a little bit too soon. We are currently playing on a US host, so my intention there was to fire nice and early in the hopes that the delay would play into my favour, but that was not the case. So back to spawn we go. We have an opportunity for some swift vengeance as Logan has arrived outside to try and spawn camp us, but we are able to get the kill. Looks like a little bit of a wall shot there on that final shot, but as I say, US host, there is a bit of delay on just about everything for us European players. With our home point relatively secure, it is time to do what I mentioned earlier and this time go for the back cap on the enemy's home point. This is of course a very risky play as it's extremely easy to get flanked, and in that case that's exactly what happens here. We're caught between a bit of a rock and a hard place, popping stims to try and weather one las cannon shot, but we do end up going down since the grenade did enough damage to allow us to be one shot by the las cannon. Back to square one, we can see that our home point is under pressure since it is blinking, but we're going to look for that flank route once again to try and release some of the pressure. This time, however, it does seem to be quite heavily guarded, so we're going to move up into the centre instead. We're able to take out that assault with some close range shooting, and our home point has been decapped, but since we can see it's flashing yellow, that does mean that we've still got teammates on there, and they will hopefully recapture it without too much trouble. Instead, we're going to be able to decap the centre point, pick off an assault back there, maybe we can finish off the other assault while we're at it. Indeed we can. But now we find ourselves in a slight spot of bother because that plasma shot somehow ended up sticking on us. We're going to stim up and engage all the same. We're able to take out that kill and just stay on point to try and finish off the capture. We are looking like we're in a bit of trouble now though, since we've got Logan approaching from the front and an assault, although the assault has just been taken out. Our only option here is to stand back off the point and hope that he doesn't realise that we're still here, and that does seem to pay off. Not sure if that was because of the delay or whether he didn't realise that we stuck around. That assault seemed to be pretty resilient, but he does go down in the end. I'm going to stem up to just try and secure the cap, but there are so many enemies coming in that it is going to be time to bail. We had the option of sticking around to maybe finish off the cap, but with one or two enemies in contact with the point at that time, it didn't seem like a survivable option, so instead we're going to loop around and hit them in the rear. We need to be mindful of targets who are going to be watching the point, so we'll take that one out, check our right side. It looks like we're in the clear for the moment. We're able to move in and get a pretty effective flank on people trying to cap. With 3 targets down in quick succession, we should be able to move in and finish off the cap nice and quickly. We're able to pinch that kill again with what looks like another wall shot on poor Logan. We're able to hoover that one up while we're at it, and we finally do have B point locked down, and the game is starting to turn, as you can see. We're still about 500 points down, but it is now winnable. There is enough time on the clock to actually turn this one around. We could have made the decision to stick around on B point and hold that down and try and cover our home point as well, but we are still quite a bit down, so we need to start making plays on the enemy's home point. This time we're able to decap it fully, but we are soon to have some company. We can hear them coming in from the left-hand side. One tack, one las, that's a lot of grenades. We're able to weather the storm of those, and it looks like our team are actually pushed up to give us a hand. Taken a hit from that las cannon, so we need to duck back into cover for the moment. Unfortunately, we didn't see or hear the assault coming in, and stims popped just a little bit too late to save us, so we do go down. Little bit of lack of awareness on my part, and I don't know if you noticed, but I did slightly mess up my weapon swap since I swapped in the roll animation, which then forced me into that weapon swap animation afterwards, and that got me killed since I was not able to pop stims until that had completed. Some questionable stalker shots out of spawn, but we are able to redeem ourselves since that target apparently has a death wish, and we're able to comply with that. From here on out, the game plan is really going to be to just maintain pressure on the enemy's home point and try and make sure that we keep gaining points at a rapid rate. Move in, get some disappointing melter damage on that las cannon, and eventually do get gunned down by his teammates. Even Laraman stims were not enough to save us from the power and might of the level 1. In that scenario, I really should have just dropped down to the low ground and made my escape rather than trying to re-engage on both of them with stims up. While that can be a viable option against one target with a limited burst damage, 2 of them is just going to be a bit too much. We're going to try the upper approach this time, but first we're able to pick off Logan, who is unfortunately locked in a 2v1 already, and we're just able to tip the scales a little bit there. Heavy bolter to engage. I think I thought I maybe killed him there, which didn't quite end up being the case. We're able to finish him off either way, as our teammate Get Down Mr. President's us from that plasma gun shot. It's looking like they have that upper approach quite well locked down, so instead we're going to move underneath once again and see if we can get a flank going. There's a las cannon who hasn't quite spotted us yet, so we've taken him out. There's another one behind us, we need to be mindful of that, but fortunately he is not really paying attention and does go down just as easily. Our opponents are decapping B point, but that's not necessarily a bad trade for us since we are in the midst of decapping C point while we're at it. However, they do seem to be also on our home point, which is a little bit of a concern since it seems like our teammates aren't really picking up the slack back there. Once again, we do have targets coming in from the left, but it looks like this time it's just a solo las cannon who's moving a bit too close. We're able to push out and ambush him, while his teammate just fires ineffectually at our stims while we heal through it. He's going to go down in short order, and it looks like we are going to be able to secure this capture fully. It looks like the other team haven't been able to capitalise on their decaps on home point and B point, so we're going to move up and just try and support the recapture of B point, moving into the centre to pick up those stims and then take up a firing position for people coming from spawn. There's a target back there we're able to take out. Our teammate is just gunned down by Logan, but unfortunately he hasn't noticed us hiding in this corner, so he goes down as well. Now the enemy is just going to run in a straight line and go down to a couple of stalker headshots, and it looks like we do have B point fully secured at the cost of C point, but that's not necessarily a big deal because we can never really bank on holding that for any length of time. All the same, with the rest of the map secure, we might as well push up and get a flank going here either way. We just want to time it so the targets are starting to move away from the point and not really paying much attention, and indeed that does seem to be the case with that tactical. We have been flanked and ambushed by this one, but he doesn't really seem to know what he's doing, so he goes down in short order as well. Doesn't seem like the target over there has actually noticed our presence. We're not going to engage him just yet, but there is a teammate coming, so we're able to just chip in with a little bit of damage, and he does go down. B point is under pressure and it's more important to deny that decap than to take their home point. Looks like Logan is the culprit, but he is backing off and does go down to our teammate. A little bit of a risk there turning our back on the enemy spawn, but I was banking on someone not quite having the firepower to finish me off back there, and indeed they didn't even seem to notice me. Taking a hit from the las cannon though, which could potentially be a problem, and indeed it is, because Logan is back, and he is back with a vengeance. A little bit too casual there with my back to the enemy spawn, perhaps. With a las cannon like bread on the other team, that's not necessarily going to be a good idea. Our hard work is starting to pay off, however, as we have finally taken the lead and we're able to gun down that assault as he glides over the top, avoid his plasma shot and then keep moving to put pressure on home point. It's important at this stage that we don't lose our grip on the map. This tactical is apparently reversing into combat, which is not really going to be an effective strategy for him, but all the same it looks like their home point is a little bit more heavily guarded than before. We're going to assault in the distance, we're going to try and take down first, and then maybe we can move up and engage the las cannon. There's a few more targets coming in, which means that it is time to bail. We're going to get a little bit stuck on our teammate there, which does cop us a wall shot, so we're going to pop stims just as a precaution in case the assault follows, and then use that damage mitigation to justify going out into the open a little bit just to change positions. We're going to just drop back and lend a hand on our home point if necessary, but it doesn't look like that's the case. There are at least 3 teammates on there, which does mean we can justify moving out to just guard B point until the end of the game, essentially. Logan flies up into the sky and we're able to down him without too much trouble, but we do take a las cannon shot from the distance, so we need to be a little bit careful and just keep flanking on this right hand side. There's an assault above, but he does go down before he even reaches the ground thanks to Show, and there is a heavy bolter who is completely oblivious to our presence. He's going to go down in short order, and there's another assault who apparently also has a death wish, so he is going to fall as well. There is a las cannon front from spawn which we might as well try our luck against, but we must be careful here because this is really not a favourable position to be peeking from. And in fact we have been flanked by a tactical, but he doesn't seem to have landed the shots. I think he may have been shooting at someone else. Logan is coming in hot, and once again we're going to fire nice and early, and this time it does make all the difference. However, the las cannon has pushed up behind us, and this is really not a good engagement range to be playing at against a las. My first evasion was just a little bit late. On his screen he would have shot me as I was standing still, on my screen it seemed to bend, but that's a US host for you, and down we did go. Able to hoover up Logan as we come out of spawn, which is just plain bad luck for him really. The job is almost done here, we are not far off victory, but it looks like B point has been decapped, so instead of going off on a flank route to the enemy home point, we're going to move and wrap around the back to take out this tactical who isn't really paying much attention to the right direction. We do take that las cannon hit, and I got a little bit disorientated as to where that was coming from, so did evade back out into the open, but fortunately we were not punished for that this time. At this stage the win is going to be ours. The only thing left to do is to just try and pick off a couple more kills before the round ends in those final closing seconds. Which apparently you're not even going to see, since my recording software is currently bugging out. Missed a kill there, but there is going to be time for just one more, and that is going to be that. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and as always I will see you on the battlefield.